welcome to the crash course, Visible and Valuable. This is probably one of my favorite classes to teach because it's so practical. The use for this class, Visible and Valuable, goes so far beyond real estate. I hope this really helps you be a lot more social. If you're one of those people who are like, I don't have any friends, it's one of two reasons. Your pets stink or you don't know how to stay visible and valuable. And so let's just get right to it. What is being visible and valuable? I'm sure you've all been to a party, or if you're the smelling armpit guy, you haven't. You're talking with some people, you're some good conversation, and then all of a sudden that one person walks in, they walk in, and all of a sudden all the attention goes right to them. They're, oh my gosh, I love your shoes, you look so great, isn't this fun? They just kind of are a visible attraction magnet. Now, positively or negatively, depending on how they interact with others, depends on where they're at. But they're the people who are just coming in, they just have one-liners, they're making fun of someone, they're talking to someone else, they're interrupting conversations. They're incredibly visible. You see them, you can't help but not see them, but they're not really adding substance to the conversations, they're not really adding value. Well, they did a good job of being visible, but after a while, if you just stay purely visible, it gets kind of old and routine. On the flip side of that coin, let's say you're at that same party, and I love to use some old comedian's line here. It really hits the nail on the head. You see an old guy at a party. He's kind of awkward looking. He's standing over by the little snack area. He takes a celery piece, dips it in the dip, takes a bite, and then does the most horrible thing possible. Goes back for a double dip. It doesn't matter who he is. He could be Buzz Aldrin and been to outer space. He could have the answer to all life's problems. If he is incredibly valuable, but doesn't have the visibility to attract anyone to him, he's not doing his job. He's never going to meet the purpose of why he's there. We want to work on being both visible and valuable. Take it to real estate. You could be expert negotiator. You can know the inventory inside and out. If you can't get anyone to work with you, you're shooting yourself in the foot. It doesn't matter how much you know, you have no one to practice it on. On the other side of that, you could be an open house magnet. People are attracted to you, everyone wants to work with you, but if you don't have any idea on how to actually add value and substance to them, you won't last in real estate very long because you'll get a bad reputation really quickly. So how do we both? How do we be visible and valuable? First of all, I want to talk about what being visible is not. So this is a great example. This is one of my favorite slides. Mobile tattoos. Yeah, that's very visible. I think you'll need a tetanus shot afterwards. Pop-tards. Oh, that's visible, all right. For official use only, I'm going to keep my two kids far, far away from that creeper van. Visible. Babe Ruth. I don't think so. What about the other side? What about valuable? Valuable. This sign says, it really is a store. Just walk on in, no worries. There could be a Fabergé egg in there. This could be like the best discount store imaginable. But if your presentation looks like this, no one is going to go in. Tastes like grandma. Homemade jam, black raspberry. Listen, this could be the best jam possible. With a label like that, I think it really might taste like grandma. So what is being visible? Visible is, I love Rocky. I'll give him a pass. Rocky 1 through 4, I love. Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed. But this is what being visible is. I want you to open up your packet right now and take a look at this. See, being visible is owning one street, one block, one community. All too often, someone in real estate, they want to begin to practice real estate on people who they don't know. They want to go to far, far, far seas, far beyond, so that if they make a mistake, no one knows them. I'm telling you, that's not the way to practice successful real estate. We want you to own your block. If your own block won't use you for real estate, why would you expect a complete stranger to? And so that's how it begins. It begins with door knocking your street, doing open houses in your immediate community. It means being visible is practicing scripts and being ready for the opportunities when they arrive. And knowing who your wealth builders are, knowing who your raving fans are, and catering to them. You just don't get. Very few people can create the way they're going to generate business. I'm telling you, the way that you're going to generate your first handful pieces of business are from owning one street, one block, owning your community. Door knocking in your community, open houses in your community, adding visible and valuable. So let me tell you what being visible is not. Oh, Dorita, may you God bless you. I've never met you. I just found your sign online. And if you one day happen to watch this, I want you to know I respect the crap out of you. I too would do the same thing. There's nothing wrong with this sign. It's kind of cute. Dorita Mayu rhymes with Doritos. You get it. But this isn't what's going to attract business. Neither is wearing your realtor pin. So go back to your handout for a second. I want you to see wearing a realtor pin. This is not being visible. You might say, yeah, but my grandpappy wears a realtor pin to work every day and it helps him sell real estate. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you can actually get a piece of business or two from, wearing your realtor logo. But more often than not, what probably happened is Grandpa was standing in line at a grocery store and someone said, oh, what's that pin stand for? And he said, I'm a realtor. And they began a conversation, and because Grandpa actually had some scripts that worked, he closed the piece of business. You see, wearing the realtor pin wasn't what actually got him the piece of business. It was engaging in conversation. So wearing a realtor pin, good for you. I mean, wear it. Support the realtor community. But that's not what's going to generate you business. Paying for advertising. That's another thing. That is not going to generate business for you. I think the reason why every new agent gets phone calls from Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, from the newspaper, that they want you to pay for advertising, it's because the people who've been in real estate for any length of time know that's not how you generate business. Paying for advertising does not work. All that does is just kind of wave a fancy flyer out there. When I had my first listing, I actually took a picture of my sign and I sent it to my mom. She was proud of me. No one else cared. That's the absolute truth. You see these names on golf courses, they've never sold real estate because of it. They put their name on a golf course sign, buy houses from Joe Schmo, because that made them feel good. Good for them, good for you. I do lots of stuff to make me feel good. One of them's eating sushi. Boom, makes me feel good all the time. A little bit more fulfilling and rewarding than some stupid sign on a golf course. Owning a website. Now, you have a website provided by the team. It's got your name included. It's a little bit generic, but I gotta let you know that owning a website on its own is not gonna generate any business for you. It's not even being visible. See, a billboard or a real estate website is a sign in the middle of the desert. It's a billboard out in the middle of nowhere. The only people who are ever gonna see it are the people who you lead right to it. And just think about it. If you took them by the hand and led them to your website, you already had them in your hand. So ask for the piece of business. That wasn't the visible part. All too often I walk through the office, not our office, but the main office across the street, and I'll see brand new agents working on their Facebook page, getting their logo going, waiting for their business cards. They say, oh yeah, as soon as I have my website up and going, then I'm going to go practice real estate. I think you should be filling out job applications for McDonald's because that's all you're going to do. Because owning a website, owning business cards does nothing for you. And that leads me to the next one, passing out your business card. No one in the history of the earth ever sold a house because they passed out their business card. And you're saying to yourself, I think you might be wrong. And yeah, I probably am. But the reality of it is, if you think you're actually going to sell real estate because you passed out your card, you're kidding yourself. You come to an open house and you have 32 people come through and you passed out 32 of your business cards. And then you go home and you tell your significant other, oh, it was a great open house. I passed out 32 pieces of business cards. How much actual real estate did you help sell that day? None. Because what do you do with business cards when you get them? You throw them in a drawer and then possibly give them to your kid to play with. Passing out your card does nothing. We want you to be the collectors of information. We want to be the ones that gather their phone numbers so that we can be in control of when we follow up. Having your name in lights does absolutely nothing. It goes back to the whole reference of me having my name on a sign. Our team name used to be Andy Taylor Homes. In fact, we had a cartoon cut out of my face. It was cute and it was quaint. Part of the reason why we did it was in 2014. We thought we were going to be a solo agent. It was just going to be me and maybe one other assistant. And I was kind of into that shticky kind of marketing at the time. Do you know that when I started telling people that we were going to switch to Mosaic Home Group, the other real estate agents I told said, you're going to lose so much business when you do that. You shouldn't do that. It's not going to, your reputation's so important. Do you know that no one cared? No one even minded. Even my past clients didn't know that we had changed the name. Your name does not matter. It does to you and to your grandma. It probably doesn't even to your spouse. So having your name in lights does nothing to help you stay visible. You know what clients want? They want homes sent to them on time. They want attentive. They want CMAs. They want market analysis. They want you to provide quality, substantive service. That's what being visible is, not having the Andy Taylor Homes team. And lastly, mailing print advertising. This is a no, cannot do. I spent $8,000 one year because I wanted to be the owner of the Furcrest community, so I did nothing but mail out a farm. $8,000. You know how many pieces of business I got? I got the same amount that you've sold in your career so far. None. Bupkis nada. Because just mailing something out, there's no shortcuts. You see, we mail out an awful lot of print material, but we do it in conjunction with a lot of other stuff. Just sending someone out mail is not being visible. Let's talk about value for a second. This is, before we get to value, I want you to see this little slide from Billy from the Family Circus. You see, most real estate agents, this is what they do. It's exactly like this, and we've all seen the Family Circus cartoon. Mama says, "Quick, Billy, run these out to the mailbox. They need to be sent out today." And Billy goes out and goes up and washes his hands and comes back out and plays with his sister on the couch for a little while, goes and watches a little TV, goes pets the dog, bounces around. Next thing you know, gets outside and says, "Too late, Mommy, we just missed them." This is how real estate agents take their entire career. They bounce around from, well, I'm going to try out Zillow, then I got to get my website, then I'm going to do Facebook, and then I'm going to send out a print mailer. They do nothing consistently and long enough to bear fruitful results. We know exactly what bears the most results for the least amount of effort. That's the only place we put all of our effort and our attention. And it is not in all those other cheesy, sticky, gimmicky ways. Reference your, open up in your packet again real quickly. I want you to see, these are a couple of tagline questions. See, most of the time people are going to ask you two things. They're going to say, well, how's the real estate market? This is the quickest way to be valuable from the get-go. Someone's going to say, how is the real estate market? And that's just kind of like the thing people ask you when you're in real estate. How's the real estate market? And you're going to respond, oh, it's good. Yeah, it's good. How's it selling? It's really hot. No, I want you to think about it differently. I want you to respond this way. If someone says, how's the real estate market? I want you to say, well, that depends. Are you considering buying, selling, or investing? And they're either considering buying, selling, investing, and great, you go right into the sewer script. Or they're going to say, oh, no, I just had curiosity. Oh, so you must be asking for a friend. What are they considering doing? You see, depending on who you are, a buyer or a seller, really depends on how the market is. So how can I help? You begin to just answer that question differently. I have taken so many pieces of business just because someone's come up to me and said, how's the real estate market? Because they're just in casual conversation. And I respond, well, that depends. Are you considering buying, selling, or investing? Well, my wife and I have thought about investing. Outstanding. So would you be investing in a single-family home or multifamily? Because the market depends on which one you're going to invest in. Oh, we don't really know. What I'd love to do is invite you to my office for a buyer's consultation. That is the quickest way to be incredibly visible and valuable. And it takes nothing more than just a turn of a phrase. So let's talk about value for a minute, and absolute value. And I love this slide right here. And if any of you have little kids, you're going to know exactly what these two things are. So how to be valuable? What are these two? The one on the clock, this is an ingenious invention. In fact, we only paid like $14 for it. I would have paid 10 times that amount. See, this is an alarm clock that you put in your child's room so that we told our little daughter, Parker, you can't come out of bed in the morning until your alarm clock, the light turns orange. She couldn't read time, but she knew colors. And so she'd wake up and got off at early times in the morning, 5:30, 6 a.m. And she knew she couldn't get out of bed until 6:30. So she watched that clock, and as soon as 6:30 hit, sure enough, she'd race down into her bed. Listen, I, as a parent of a 4-year-old, would pay any sum for that. However, if my kid's 20, and I have someone who tries to add value to me by providing that little clock, I'm thinking, you're ridiculous. The same thing goes for this other thing. This is a mum. You know what a mum is? It's just spun banana. There's no nutritional value. When your kid's crying in the back seat, when they're a newborn baby, and you throw them a packet of mums, oh my gosh, it's bliss. It's like 5 minutes of tranquility now, serenity now, serenity now. If you're a parent of a 1-year-old, this thing is ingenious. If you're a parent of a 4-year-old and someone was to give that to my kid, she'd just munch on that and say there's not enough sugar and go right on crying because I tricked her into not giving her a treat. You have to know who your client is in order to know where value is. All too often, you're coming into real estate with these preconceptions of what a good real estate agent is. I'm telling you, if you begin to only do what you think a good real estate agent should do, you're completely missing the value proposition for your clients. So how do you add value? Let's just see. Let's go right into it. And so you add value a couple different ways. You know their DISC profile. We had you take a DISC profile before you joined us in our organization. Depending on what your DISC profile is, depends on what you consider to be excellent, articulate, amazing service. So we're going to get into the DISC profile a little bit more in another class, but for now, who are the high Ds? You know your DISC profile by now. A high D is defined by someone who is, and I want you to follow along on your worksheet, decisive. They have a preference for problem solving and getting results. These are your doers. These aren't your let's get into big, long, heady conversations. Let's be super talky McTalkersons. In fact, I'm a high D, and if you really want to win with me, you don't come up and ask me about my kids. You come up and ask me the question that you have, and you get the answer, and we go back to doing what we're doing. Because I, in my work life, am super focused on what it is that I need to get done. And so my D is at an all-time high. Your client might be the same. So if you have a client who's a really high D, and every time you talk to them, you think you add value by asking about their kids, you're losing with them. A high I, these are their interactives. They have the preference for interacting with others and showing emotion. These are the ones, let's just say you're a real estate agent. Let's say you're a high D. Let's say you're all about task and you think people should be succinct and short to the point, and the way that you can best help your clients is by getting them into the house, helping them make decisions, and move out. Well, if they're a high I, they just want to talk about the party they're going to throw. You're not adding true value with your client if you don't treat them like the DISC profile states they should. S's, these are people who are stable. They want to be very thorough in a decision-making process. They want to make sure they've weighed all the pros and cons. Again, if you just want to talk about the parties you're going to throw, you're totally missing the point. You're not addressing their concerns the way they should be addressed. And finally, the C's. C's used to be my least favorite DISC profile to work with until I began to understand them, and now they're my absolute favorite. You see, they're defined by caution. They're defined by the presence for procedures, standards, and protocols. These are the ones who are all about the price per square foot and investment. It is more logic with this group than anything else. Well, I can deal with that. I just know if I show a house that's at this price point, with these amenities, in this school district, with this walkability score, they're going to buy it. It's the absolute best way to work. Now, let's just say I'm a high I, and I again just want to talk about parties. Or I'm a high S, and I want to make the C feel safe and stable. They don't care about all that. They want the logic, they want the results, they want the TPS reports, they want to know where the septic tank is going, and then they're going to make a clerical, clinical decision. When you know someone's DISC, you provide tremendous value. And the next thing about knowing how to provide value is knowing your contracts. I can't tell you how many times I've met agents who their first time ever reading the purchase and sale contract was when they're filling it out. If you know contracts better than anyone else, I'll tell you what, if you spend some time, especially after you go through our purchase and sale agreement class, if you know contracts in and out, you will know contracts better than most agents who've been practicing real estate 5, 6, 7 years. It's abhorrent how little real estate agents know about their contracts. You know contracts, you'll know how to negotiate the best. You'll win with them. Next one, no inventory. Again, it's just obscene how many real estate agents, the very first time they ever go show a house is when it's with their clients, when it's live. You should know inventory. You have nothing else to do but go into homes right now if you have clients. Knowing the inventory, what comes off the market, what a good deal is. When I first started selling real estate, I didn't know any better, but I didn't preview homes. I was showing a client homes and they asked me, what do you think about the neighborhood? And I was like, I think it's great. I wasn't lying to her. But I had no idea. I hadn't been in 50, 60 different homes. I didn't know what a good neighborhood was compared to a bad one. I was just flying from the seat of my pants. And lastly, in order to be a great real estate agent, you got to know homes. You're not a home inspector. It's not your job to know a stab lock breaker from a Federal Pacific, but you should. You should begin to know homes, know what goes into a home, know what building materials are, so that you can be an informed agent. I don't care who you are. If you had the choice between two doctors to operate on your child, one doctor cared a lot, brought you like teddy bears, held your hand, but had never done the procedure before, but he sure cared a bunch. The other doctor treated you like a piece of meat, didn't have time to meet with you, but he'd done the same procedure successfully 10,000 times. Which one would you choose to operate on your child? 10 out of 10, we take the surgeon that treats us like a piece of meat. Now, I'm telling you, I'm not asking you to treat your clients like a piece of meat, but if you know inventory, you read their DISC profile, communicate to them the way they want to be communicated with, you know homes, and you know contracts better than anyone else, you're a great agent. I knew I was the best agent known to man. You know why? Because I genuinely did not get wrapped up. If the client didn't get the offer accepted, it never really bothered me. I slept great at night. I did not get personally invested with the client. I also knew I gave my absolute best. I would research and study homes. I'd preview homes. I would go on pre-inspections. I did everything that I knew to do to be the most valuable agent I could, so that when they did miss out on an offer, I knew it had nothing to do with me and I slept great. Which agent do you want to be? Visible and valuable. And lastly, this is how I want to leave it with today. Give more in value than you receive in compensation. This sounds like kind of an odd, it sounds like you go broke doing this. Give more in value than you receive in compensation, but that's not true. So my accountant, he charges me a lot of money. I have a couple different businesses. In fact, he charges me what I think is a lot of money. You know what he doesn't charge me? Too much. See, if I had to add up the hours, the stress, the headache, and the time I would have to spend, the education I would have to get in order to deal with my finances, it'd be way more than what I pay him. So in that regards, he gives me a lot more in value than I receive in compensation. And this is the most practical, easy way to do this. And this is why I love the Visible and Valuable class, because you can become an amazing, visible, valuable contributor right away. So when it comes to inspections, or even home tours for that matter, show up early and bring gifts. So when I was first selling real estate, I went to the dollar store, bought $20 worth of kids' toys, and every single time I showed a home to a family with kids, I asked the parents, hey, can I give them a toy? Every time. I'd show a client 5 or 6 times, and the kids got used to getting a toy from Andy the realtor. I love that. The family loved that. 2 things. 1, I kept the kids somewhat distracted so I could work with the parent. And 2, it just added value. It cost me $1 a time. I did the same when I had solo clients. I took them, I call them up 10 minutes before we were supposed to meet. Hey, I'm at Starbucks. What do you want to drink? I brought them a drink every single time. You see, they don't know that you're on a team where your commission is chopped. They don't even know you're at a brokerage that's going to take them a lion's share of it. When it comes to the closing table and they see that it's a $9,000 commission, they're going to ask themselves a question. Did my real estate agent was he really worth $9,000? He showed me a couple homes. We actually had to negotiate for him. Man, I paid too much. That is why people go to use the Redfin model. That is why people are looking for discount brokerages. It's because their previous agent did not give them the value to merit that. You go out of your way to give value. That's how you create raving fans and you win every time. So show up early. You should never be late to anything when it comes to a client, and bring gifts. Provide, keep a flashlight and a tape measure in your car. I started doing this. I'd be with a client and they would be, oh man, I love this house. I wonder where my furniture is going to go. Well, do you know that a king size bed is 72 inches? I have a tape measure in the car. Would you like to measure? Yeah, we would. I'd run out, get the tape measure. They wanted to poke their head in a closet or an attic. Oh man, I don't have a flashlight. Here you go. I brought one for you. Every single time, show up, add value this way. And lastly, provide visible and valuable care throughout the entire process. So there is so frequently a client, you're going to go through dark periods, especially when you're looking for a home for them and all of a sudden nothing's on the market. That does not mean you stop touching base with them. In fact, all the more reason, if they're a discouraged buyer and nothing is in their price range or comes on the market for more than a couple days, they're the ones who are now wondering, I wonder if my real estate agent's doing their job. Well, this is the way you stay visible with them. You send them a text message. You send them an email that has a house that they viewed 2 weeks ago that just went pending. You send it to them. Just wanted you to see this house is pending. If it comes back on the market, I'll make sure to let you know. You just think of a way to constantly touch them in a visible and valuable way so that you stay current with them throughout the entire process. I can't tell you how many times, I'm going to make up a number. 72 times the way that I've gotten clients is someone's walked into my open house, and the first thing I say to them is, once we get around to it, how are you currently looking at homes? And they would say, well, my real estate agent's helping me. Your real estate agent who's helping you with the largest home purchase you've ever made in your life couldn't even be bothered to show up to the open house today? What I'd love to do is invite you to my office for a 30 to 45 minute consult. My easiest target was to take people who are working with other real estate agents, and you're saying, ooh, you're that guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm that guy. Why? Because I did a better job. I was a better open heart surgeon than they were. And so if you stay visible and valuable and constant with your clients, when someone like Andy says, why isn't your real estate agent here today? They're going to say, well, he actually just sent me the link to this house with the showing instructions. In fact, I believe he even emailed you not to harass us, didn't he? Oh, yep, he did. That's value. That's how you win with clients every single time. That's how you keep them through tough times when you can't find their houses, and that's how you create raving fans that refer you lots and lots of business. All right, and one note about social media, because we are talking about being visible and valuable. Social media do's and don'ts. How many times have you know what someone's occupation is, not because you were curious, but because they blasted it all over Facebook? In fact, I have a lot of friends who are real estate agents, and it drives me nuts. Just penned another one, just sold another one. If you need any help selling yours for more than top dollar, give me a call. I want to vomit. That is not valuable. That's obnoxious. It's just obscene. So these are social media do's and don'ts. Listen, you got to maintain your account. You have to be active. This is a very social media world. In fact, if you even want to work with millennials, they're going to Facebook stalk you or research you before they begin to work with you. And so if all you have on there is a picture of your dog, then you're not coming across very well. So begin to engage with your social media. Update twice weekly if possible, but don't update so much that your posts become white noise. Don't just be posting. If you're currently posting, no one cares. It's white noise. Do not overshare articles, videos, blogs, and other content. It should be your original stuff. Remember who you're talking to. Change your profile or go private if content isn't appropriate. If you have some scandalous pictures up there and you're saying I am who I am, great. Make your account private. Put a generic picture on the front and then make your account private. If you're saying, well, I'm just who I am and I'm still not going to change, then we're not going to work with you. I don't want to be in business with someone. Listen, I've got a lot of stuff in my personal life that I don't necessarily want the world to see. I am incredibly strong in my faith beliefs, but if you read my Facebook post, you're never going to see anything about faith or politics on there. Really, because it does no good to post on Facebook. If you're uber political on Facebook, you're not winning friends or influencing others. You're just promoting white noise. I am very political. I do talk about my faith, just not on Facebook. Why? Because I want to sell real estate to anybody and everybody that will stand a chance. You have a problem with that? I promise you, let me know. I'll look at your Facebook page and we probably won't be in business together. Do check and be sure you completely understand the privacy settings. Do not post controversial material. Don't share too much information, especially information of a personal nature. And proofread. You want to come across as a professional. You have spelling errors or omissions in your status updates. It doesn't help those high C or those high S people feel like you're very safe and secure to work with. And don't forget that people may have a different sense of humor. What you think is funny may sound obnoxious to others. You get those tips, you're going to win. You don't, if right now I'm raising cockles in the back of your head because you're so indignant because your political candidate must be blah, 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 blah. I don't care, shut up. Or get off the team. All right, guys, that was a great class. I love the social media do's and don'ts. I love the visible and valuable. Can't wait till we sell an awful lot of real estate. You see, I'm being really cheery right now because I just hit you with a grenade. Seriously, though, you post stupid stuff on Facebook, I don't want to be in business with you. All right, can't wait to see you. No, but don't. Bye.